We updated the turtle tank and cleaned it. And recently we found out it's actually a girl, not a boy. So instead of T Diddy, its name is now Diddley, because Diddley's, I don't know, in my opinion, a gender neutral name. So if it's a boy, whatever. If it's a girl, we think it's a girl. We've looked up on the Google, and it has more signs of being a girl than a boy. So now T Diddley is a girl, and Diddley is its name now. Anyway, so moving on to our video. You saw my beard. Alright. We got a new deck profile for you guys. Imperialdramon. Really fun deck, really good deck. It's probably one of the best decks still, even with the X3, the X2. And this is my profile for it. It's a little, what's it called? Unorthodox. It's not. There's a couple things in this deck that are different from most builds, in my opinion. Otherwise, it's about 85% same as every other build out there. But let's get down to it. Check out the nice Godzilla playmat. This is my fiance's playmat. So was the Lady Devimon playmat, but all my playmats are dirty right now. I have to wash them. So we're going to be using hers. And anyway, let's get down to the deck profile. We got we just played 4 babies of this because we either lose quickly or we win quickly. Most of the time we win quickly, as long as we're given a good enough hand. So we play the BT3 Demi Vmon that says when attacking, once per turn, if it has jamming, draw a card. And there's a couple cards in this deck. Well, there's one card that has jamming, but it gives jamming as an inheritable. So this procs a lot because of that card. And if you know Imperialdramon, you know what card that is, but we will get to that when the time comes. But this is the 4 babies that I chose to play. You could play Upamon. Really no problem with that. This is actually cheaper. I think it procs a little bit more often than the Upamon. Next baby, we play only Vmons. I did have Madoki Beta in here, mainly for like blue hybrids and mirror matches. But as I said, I started building my decks mainly for my locals meta, and blue hybrids kind of dying locally. We have one player that still plays it, and we have another player that plays like 1 to 2 people who play Imperial. So overall, that's really just 3 blue players normally that I have. So I felt like it wasn't really worth it. Plus, we only had 1 spot for it, so we were only running at 1. We probably could make room for 2, but I decided to max out the Vmon count on here. First, we're running the EX1. During your turn, once per turn, it's not a once per turn. Well, I mean, it is a once per turn. Another one's not once per turn, but we'll get to that. Once per turn, if this Digimon becomes unsuspended during your main phase, you gain a memory. So this does a lot of unsuspending. Our level 5 Imperialdramon, y'all know which one I'm talking about. Again, I'm gonna get to that one. Unsuspends. We have our one of our level 6s unsuspend. And then of course we have a lot of unsuspending in this deck. So this procs a lot of times, and we play 4 of that, and then this is the one where it's not once per turn that I was talking about. We play a lot of expensive Vmons. Let me just throw that out there. The only one we don't play is the jamming Vmon. I didn't feel a need for it in this deck because you can swing with your jamming Vmon. Sure, it'll live, but they're just going to run into it next turn, and then now you're left without a rookie to go into a Vmon or a level 4 period. So I decided to just use the ones that gain me value as inheritables more. So this one says your turn. We don't use the your turn effect, but you could if you wanted to be cheeky. Slide all force Vmon into the deck. But if your opponent has a level 6 or higher Digimon in play, you can evolve an All Force straight into this for 4. But again, we don't really use that effect. We mainly use the inheritable that says when attacking, not once per turn, when attacking, if you have 7 or fewer cards in your hand, draw 1. So a lot of times, early game, you go for the stuff, you do the Imperialdramon, you swing twice. You're going to be drawing cards both times if you have a hand of 7 or less. And then our last VMon, we play the Search one. On play, top 3, you add a free Digimon. A Digimon with free in its traits, which is the entire deck except for like 4 cards. I'm sorry, 6 cards. Not including our Tamers. And maybe 10 cards total with the Tamers and the options. Everything else has the trait of free. So that's all of our rookies we play. Mulligans are still in effect, at least for us locally. So I felt like 12 rookies is fine, because if we don't see one in our first hand, we'll just mulligan and hopefully we get one in our second hand. Next, this is an MVP of the deck. The EXV from EX1. It has jamming, evolves into a green or a blue for 2. It has jamming, and if it's an inheritable, if it's an Imperialdramon or it has a free in its traits, it gains jamming. So again, all that jamming really procs our baby of choice. It's really good to go into this, swing, and then hopefully same turn be able to go into a Imperialdramon for DNA Digivolve, and then swing with it having jamming, unsuspend, swing with jamming. And it's just a really impactful card. Really, I'd say it's the MVP of the deck along with Imperialdramon. So yeah, next card is the starter deck Stingmon. This is also a really good card. It costs 4. If you have a blue Digimon in play, it costs 1 less. So it becomes a 3 cost. It evolves for 2 onto a blue or a green. And then when attacking, not once per turn, also keep in mind, not once per turn, you draw a card when you attack. So paired with this card, normally what you want to do, if this is underneath it, and you have a stack, and let's say there's a level 5 on top of this, you'll want to swing, and if you have 7 or less cards, you want to activate this first, because if you use this first and it gives you your 8th card, then now this won't do nothing. So if you swing, you let this get you your 8th card, this will get you your 9th card. So that's a nice way to kind of choose your effects wisely to draw the maximum get the maximum draw effect for your deck. So that's something to keep in mind. You want to make sure you're timing your effects to give you the maximum value. And then next, our level 4 is 2 Rydramons, Light Dramons, whatever. Armor Purge evolves for 2 on our Vmons, which is all of our rookies. And then Armor Purge, if it would be just deleted, you can basically Digivolve it. You take this away and keep the rookie tapped if you attacked with it or whatever. And then when Digivolving, spin a level 4 or lower. So level 4 or lower blockers, if you're trying to go for game or something, you go into this for 2 onto a V, suspend a blocker, and go for game. These would be Lobo, but so unpopular opinion, I decided to not run Lobo at all in this deck, mainly because I chose another spicy option that may or may not get replaced for Lobo, but for right now, it has come in clutch so many times, it's unreal. And I'll get to that card right now, actually. We played 2 of the Imperialdramon from the L4 starter deck. Because it's really cool And believe it or not, it happens more often than you would think. It's really cool when they're swinging at you and they hit this, and you play, because on security, you play it after the battle. So they attack your security, they swing and they hit it. It plays itself. You draw 2, and then now if they don't answer this, and you have a Lydramon or a Stingmon on the field next turn, you could go right into your Imperialdramon. And because they basically played this for you by just swinging at your security. So that's something really neat that I love, and actually comes into effect more often than you would think. Is they'll be like, oh well, he's only got, let's say he's got like I got a Vmon, and they're like, oh well, he can't go into Imperialdramon next turn, and then they attack me, and then boom, it plays this because it was checked from security, and then once they're done, if they don't deal with this, well, I could just go for 2, and then go right into Imperialdramon, or well, you have to stack it correctly. Go right into Imperialdramon, and all of a sudden their game plan is just basically thwarted at that point because they just weren't expecting the Quadramon. And it just comes out for free. You draw 2, and then now you have a blue Digimon to DNA Digivolve next turn into a Imperialdramon or any of our level 5s, really, because all of our level 5s DNA Digivolve. So that's my little tech choice where Lobo would be. If you want to be a little bit more aggressive, you could definitely take out the Quadramon for Lobo. Alright, next, you knew it was coming. The second MVP of the deck, Imperialdramon. So, DNA Digivolve, for those who are new or don't understand it, DNA Digivolve, I mean, it says on the card, but I'll explain it anyway. If you have a blue level 4 and a green level 4 on the field, now they can be tapped. You could swing with them, and if they live, if they're still on the field, you can place them underneath this card, and it comes into play as a new card. So let's just kind of run through it real quick, just to kind of show you guys how it works, if y'all are new. So let's say we have a blue and a green Digimon on the field. Let's say we swung with this because it got jamming. It didn't die. Well, let me back up a little bit. Okay. So we swung with this. It didn't die. It's got jamming. We can basically. So this is blue first before green. It'll also show you right here. Blue first, green second. So you want to put the blue first, and then the green second, and it'll come into play like that. Let me. There you go. It'll come into play like that. And then when Digivolving, if you Diginated Digivolved, it comes in unsuspended. No, I'm sorry. It comes in unsuspended regardless. But when DNA Digivolving, return one of your opponent's Digimon with 6k 6k DP or less to the bottom of the deck. And then it also has when attacking unsuspend. So you can come into this. It can attack. It does not have summoning sickness. So you can swing. When attacking, restand. It's got jamming. So it won't die unless it hits an option or something that kills it. And you draw a card for the Stingmon. And then you can swing again. And then, you can just go from there, go into your level 6s or do whatever you want. But that is how DNA Digivolve works for all you people that are new or might not have understood how it works. But that's how DNA Digivolving works. That is why this card is so good. Yellow, green, blue, green, boom, swing, and then you go into a level 5, level 6, and you just pop off and finish the game out, basically. Sometimes this is actually your boss monster. Sometimes this is what you win the games with. Actually, a lot more times than not. Alright, so I'm going to put this up here. Our next card is 2 of the Dino Beamons from the starter deck. We were running 4. It worked fine. I mean, it wasn't a bad choice to run 4. I just felt like there was something a little more to do. So we cut this down to 2. This is a green-blue DNA Digivolve. So you'd have to put the green first. But when Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and if it DNA Digivolved, choose a suspended Digimon, and that doesn't unsuspend for the next turn. And then as an inheritable, for every color in this Digimon, it gains 1k. So if we go into, I'll just kind of show you, we go into our Dragon mode. It is a green and a blue, so it gains 1k times 2, because it gains 1k for the green, 1k for the blue. So this becomes a 14k. So yeah, we only run 2 of this because we decided to swap the other 2 for Chimeramon. Chimeramon is a great card. It is super duper busted. So DNA Digivolve 0 from a level 4 and a level 4. It doesn't specify what color because it doesn't matter. Just DNA Digivolve 0, a level 4 and a level 4. It could be 2 blues, I think. But really you want alternate colors underneath this for its second effect. When Digivolving, you may place a level 5 or lower Digimon card from your trash under this Digimon at the bottom of its sources. And then for up to 4 of your opponent's Digimon, get minus 1k for each color this hold up. It's kind of blurry actually. Because the sleeve is like a little bigger than the card. So, okay. You may place, when Digivolving, you may place 1 level 5 or lower Digimon card from your trash under this Digimon as its bottom Digi-Evolution card. Then, up to 4 of your opponent's Digimon get minus 1k for each of this Digimon's colors until the end of your opponent's next turn. And then your turn. This Digimon is treated as also having the color of its Digi-Evolution cards. While this Digimon has 4 or more colors, it gets 4k. Okay, there you go. So I couldn't read the card. I had to look at it real closely. But, so basically, if you DNA Digivolve a green and a blue, this becomes a green and a blue card, and it gets up to 4 of your opponent's Digimon? Yeah. Up to 4 of your opponent's Digimon get minus 1k for every color that it is. It is white. Then it'll be green and blue if you've used the green and blue. If you just use blue, then it'll be blue and white. So you try to want to get the maximum effect by making it blue and green and white. That way 4 things get minus 3k, which can kill a lot of babies. Rookies, I mean. So, very, very good card. This is what I decided to cut for the 2 Dinomemons. And it is... I don't play this deck too much lately because I've been playing green hybrids a lot. But when I do play this deck and I pop this off, it's so good. A lot of times it clears the field of rookies almost, because most rookies are 3k or less. And it gets rid of a lot of the rookies that stop your memory gaining and hammer sparks. On to level 6s, we play 3 Dragon modes from a starter deck. This is a really cool card. When Digivolving, you may play a level 4 or lower blue Digimon from this sources, and a level 4 or lower green Digimon from this sources. So a lot of times, when you evolve, what you want to do is... I mean, there's multiple things you could do. You could use your level... You could take your level 3... and a level 4, this could be classified as your... Why am I so far behind? Okay. You could take this could be your blue card, look at the top 3, grab it free, and this could be classified as your green card, because this is blue or green. So you could choose... well, this is the green card that I choose to play, and this is the blue card that I choose to play. Or you could do, this is the blue card that I choose to play, and this is the green card that I choose to play. Okay? And then now you're basically set up to go back into some DNA Digivolving. Another little cool thing to do with my tech is this is the card I choose to play to draw 2, and then you play a green card, and then you go into DNA Digivolving. If you need some hand advantage, if you need to just dig deeper, draw 2, Sometimes this will be the card that I play from the sources. So, anyway, so this plays a level 4 or lower green, a level 4 or lower blue from its sources into play. And then our last level 6, we play 2 of the fighter modes. So this digivolves for 4, this digivolves for 5, but if it goes on top of a dragon mode, it digivolves for 2. Digivolve for 2 if this name contains dragon mode. So it's any dragon mode, even the old ones from BT3 or the EX1 dragon mode. Any dragon mode, it costs 2 to digivolve. So when digivolving, return one of your opponent's Digimon with 10k or less TP to the owner's hand. When attacking, if this card has a blue card in its Digievolution cards, unsuspend. If it has a green card in the Digievolution cards, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. And that is a once per turn effect. So you Digivolve, you bounce something 10k or less. Gravekeeper for D-Reapers, by the way, just saying. So you bounce something 10k, you swing. If you have a green and a blue in the source, you restand it for the blue, and then you suspend something of theirs for the green. So you can suspend a blocker, any problematic card. If you want to, like, if you swing, and let's say it's got jamming because it's an Imperialdramon, inheritable or whatever. So you're not really worried about it dying or otherwise options. So you swing, you tap something that's problematic, one of their Digimon, a blocker. You unsuspend. Now they can't block. And then, or you can swing at something. You can swing at them, tap something that's problematic that you want to get rid of, and then after the check of the first attack, your second swing, you can swing at the Digimon to get rid of it. So it's a very versatile card. You do what you do with it whatever you need. Just read your situation. If you want to use it to get rid of a problem card, you can bounce something 10k or less, and then swing at them, tap something that's problematic that you want to get rid of, that you don't want them having next turn, and then swing at it for your second attack, or just swing at them twice, whatever you want to do. And then our last Digimon, to close out the games, we play 2 Omnimon Blitzes. Really nice card. It's nice to go boom, swing, untap, swing. Okay, you're out of life, but I'm all out of swings. Well, think again, buddy. So you evolve on this, it restands itself, and then swings with Blitz even if you've passed turn. So this is the card you go into when you want to, when you know they're all out of attacks. You're all out of attacks, but you only got to hit them one more time. You just Blitz for game, dude. That's what it does. Yeah, I've won games. I've won many games with that. I actually rather winning with that over Lobo. So maybe that's why. You could take out that for Lobo if you really, really wanted. For Tamers, we would play 2 TKs, mainly because I can't afford Davis's. But actually, I like this in a lot of situations more than Davis, because Davis on play, you top 3, or top 4, I think it is. I want to say it's top 3. And you grab a green or a green and a blue Digimon, which is really cool. A lot of blue, a lot of green Digimon in this deck. It says it's the 3, but what I like is it's the gift that keeps on giving. While as Davis can add you 2 things when you play it, sometimes it won't add 2 things. Sometimes you'll top deck 3 options. Sometimes you'll top deck just a blue. Sometimes you'll top deck just a green Digimon. While as this says, during your opponent's turn, when one of your opponent's Digimon attacks one of your blue Digimon, you may suspend this to draw a card. And all of our Digimon are blue except Stingmon. Like, this is considered a blue Digimon as well. It's a green Digimon, but it's also blue. So if they want to swing at it, tap this, I'm going to draw a card. Same for our Dragon modes. Not our Dragon modes, same for our Imperialdramons. It's a green Digimon, but it's also a blue Digimon. If they're swinging at it, I'm gonna tap TK and I'm gonna draw a card. Same thing for Dino B. Same thing for this. If you meet the requirements and it's got a blue underneath its sources, it's a blue Digimon. This is a blue Digimon. It's also green, but it's also blue. This is a blue, but green. And, you know, it just keeps going and going. So this TK, that's my argument, really. This video is getting kind of long, so let me kind of go a little bit quicker. So yeah, so Davis on play, really good card. I'm not downing it whatsoever. It's just that Davis sometimes, you know, you play it, you proc its effect. Now it's just a memory tamer. This is a memory tamer that keeps giving you stuff if they want to swing at your blue Digimon. Like, okay, y'all want to kill my Digimon, cool, but I'm going to draw a card, you know, while as Davis just sits there after you've done his effect. So that's why I choose, that's another reason I choose the TKs. And then secondly, we play 4 of the Davis and Kins. So at the start of your main phase, and I've explained the difference between start of turn and start of main phase in our Justimon video. Go check that out real quick if you haven't. But I've explained the difference between that. So basically, start of turn is right before you draw. While at start of main phase is you draw, you do your breed step, and then it becomes your main phase. So at the start of your main phase, if you have a blue Digimon in play, gain a memory. If you have a green Digimon in play, gain a memory. If you have a blue and a green, you're going to gain 1 memory for each. So if I have a Imperialdramon on board, I'm going to gain 1 memory for the blue, and I'm going to gain 1 memory for the green. So if they want to choke me at 1, if I have this and a dual-colored Digimon on the field, I'm going to go to 3. If I have a TK in play, and a Ken and Davis, and I have a blue-green Digimon on play, I'm going to start at 3, and then I'm going to gain 1 for the blue and 1 for the green. So I'm going to start at 5. So as you can see, they're not going to choke you too much with this deck. Ken and Davis' second effect says, during your turn, when one of your Digimon evolves into a Digimon with 2 or more colors, you may suspend this tamer to unsuspend that Digimon. So, this goes well with our Imperialdramon. You want to swing twice because of it's when attacking. You evolve, you swing once, swing twice if it lives. Hopefully it has jamming, so it does. And then you want to go into your dragon mode. So you go into your dragon mode, you tap this, and it becomes unsuspended. And if it's still your turn, well, you just swing, man. So we play 4 of that. We play 4 of it. We play 2 of these because typically with all the draw in the deck, between the Stigmon, the Demi V, what else? I don't know. But our draw cards, we draw a lot with this deck. We're going to see at least 1 of our TKs. We only need 1 on the field at a time. That's fine. I was playing 3 and 3. I was starting to see TK too much, and I started realizing that these were more important, so I dropped the 1 TK for the 4th Davis again. Davis and Ken, you know, self-explanatory. I just told you its effect. It is a little bit more important in this deck. Sometimes it's okay to not have this and have 2 of these, because now if you have a green Digimon, just a green Digimon, you'll gain 1 for the green and 1 for the green. So you'll start at 3 or more memory. If you have a blue and a green Digimon, then you'll gain 1 for the green, 1 for the green, and 1 for the blue, 1 for the blue. So sometimes these 2 on the field are more important than having that. But still, you want a start at 3 tamer. They're just good to have. So that's the tamer count. The options are real quick. There's only 5 of them. I'm gonna just I'm just gonna go there. We play 3 Hammer Spark. Why not 4? Well, that's because this is kind of a Hammer Spark. And at least in security. But it's also a Hammer Spark on their turn. So in security, they all have the gain 2 memory. In hand, this is gain 1 memory. And this is for when they attack, all their Digimon gain when attacking, lose 2 memory. So basically, it's, it stops them from trying to go for gain. Really helps against D-Reaper, by the way. Because their Reaper, they want to keep swinging, well, they're just going to keep losing memory. So I usually try to hold this in hand until a turn where I think they're about to go for the Reaper. Other than that, gaining 1 memory, sometimes you're 1 memory short. I've thought about running the 4 Hammer Spark and the Ice Wall. I've thought about running 4 Hammer Spark, no Ice Wall. I felt like 3 Hammer Sparks and 1 Ice Wall was fine. Because, again, with our tamer choices, sometimes we have plenty of memory to work with. Let's see, what's another situation I can kind of... the Vmon, we do a lot of unsuspending. We'll gain a memory there. We just... This deck comes down to reading the situation. Whatever you need to do, if you have the cards to do it, just read the situation. I feel 3 Hammer Spark, 1 Ice Wall is fine. And then, of course, our last card we run at 1 because it is at 1. Hidden Potential Discovered. This card, let's just say, it's real nice. Let me look for it. It's really nice. Going into that for free, or going into that for free, it's just, you could even go into Blitz Omni for free. Just, if y'all don't know what it is, the next time one of your green Digimon evolves, this is a blue Digimon, but it's also a green. Same, most of the deck is blue and green. Next time one of your green Digimon Digivolves this turn, suspend one of your Digimon to reduce the memory cost of that Digi-Evolution by 5. This is a green Digimon. That's going to be Digivolving. So, you swing. You hidden potential if you have something on the field to tap. Tap it. Hidden potential. Unsuspend. Swing for gain. Still got more memory to do whatever you want to do to pass your turn. The possibilities with this deck is just endless. There's a reason it is in the meta. There's a reason it is super consistent. There's a reason it does so well. Honestly, it just comes down to piloting it. And really, there's no wrong way to pilot it. You could misplay. It's not impossible. Every deck can misplay. But this is a deck just to kind of give you an idea, there was one game, it was the last round, I was undefeated and so was my opponent. We were both playing Imperialdramon. His list was a little different than mine. My list at the time was running the 4 Dino Bees. His list was running the Chimeras like mine. Like mine now. And I did something, I can't remember the exact situation, but I misplayed. And then passed turn. And then he misplayed. And passed turn. And after both of that happened, we realized if I wouldn't have misplayed, I had game that turn. And then when I misplayed it passed to him, he realized if he didn't misplay, he had game. So, and even after those two, so even after my misplay, so he answered my misplay with his misplay. So I did something, wasn't able to win, and then he Megadethed me to stop me from winning the next turn, but he didn't realize that turn he could have won himself. So really, we just kind of made the game longer for no reason, kind of. But we both, my point is, long story short, we both misplayed, and we were still able to bounce back from it. Well, except for me, because he ended up beating me. Barely, by the way. Like, I'm talking barely. Like, he said his asshole was clenched that entire game. Like, like, I'm not joking. That game was so close. It was by the skin of his teeth, and he admitted it. Like, he was like, dude, I'm not lying. We were, that was a hell of a game. But, you know, he misplayed and he ended up still being able to win because that's just how the deck is. You know, sometimes you can misplay and you can still pop off next turn and take the victory. Like, this deck is super, super good. There's nothing I added from EX2. I don't feel like there was anything in EX2 that could have helped the deck, really. BT9 comes out this Friday at the time of posting this video. Tomorrow, actually, because I'm recording this Wednesday night, and I'm going to probably upload it tomorrow on Thursday, and then our pre-release is Friday. So, BT9 comes out Friday, and I don't actually think there's anything in BT9 that I would actually even add to this deck either. Maybe one of the options, I don't know. I haven't really read the options. I kind of do want to play the Jellymon line, but anyway. There's not much in BT9 that I'm actually excited for, but BT10, y'all look out. BT10, I'm going to have the spiciest Dark Knight deck profile that you will see. I'm telling you. I'm hyped for that deck. I wanted to quit the game, not because the game's bad or anything, but just, you know, adulting just kind of gets in the way of the card game. I live an hour away from my locals. It gets rough. I was ready to quit until I saw the Dark Knight support coming in set 10. And that revitalized. I'm like, I can't quit now. I'm playing Dark Knight Mod, baby. So y'all stay tuned for that as well. That's set 10 though. Set 9, I'm probably gonna give y'all a little something. Depends on what I decide to make. Probably some Black War Greymon type stuff with the samurai looking thing that evolves on Black War Greymon. Anyway, whatever. This video is getting long. I'm going to cut it out right now. This is Imperialdramon. Really, really good deck. Really, really good performing deck. It's in the meta. It's hard to beat. Easy to pilot. That you can make mistakes with it, though. It's definitely not a foolproof deck. BT9 comes out Friday. I'm going to have some stuff at you for that. Probably won't do no openings. I noticed that the opening videos on this channel don't get much likes. Apparently, I don't want to see that. I just want to see deck profiles. So that's why I'm going to give you all deck profiles, gameplay, stuff like that. I've also recently started doing Pokemon more. We started doing Gym Leader format around our locals. So I might get y'all some Pokemon Gym Leader format deck profiles coming as well. So stay tuned for that if that's something you'd want to see. Other than that, till next time, Limit Break TCG, I'm glad to be back. And peace.